Welcome to these Sci-Fi guys. I am your host Dave, and always with me is Chad and John. Today we are going to be talking about the movie Starship Troopers. That's right. Starship Troopers. Wait a minute. I'm looking at this cover, and there's two females on the cover. Oh yeah, I guess it was really two females.
Yeah, there's two females.
I kind of forgot about the other one. That's right.
And the guy they're both ladies.
Yeah, I mean, when so many of them die in this movie, it's pretty sad. It's sad. Not really. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to talk about this movie because I have not seen this in a long time.
I haven't seen it in a long time either. They did, like you said. I told you earlier, they made this. I think a couple years after they made Starship Troopers 2.
Yeah, I know they made a sequel, but I know nothing about it. It may have to be for next year or whenever.
It could be who knows. It wasn't that great.
Well, we've already done our fare of not so great movies already this year,
Sure.
so maybe we can avoid that. Then.
Avoid this one.
That one. Yeah. Well, this week, Chad is the one that chose our movie, so he's going to be the one doing our questions this week. Yeah, my button's sticking or something. I don't know. All right, Chad, go with your questions.
So, ever since we've been doing this, we saw a lot of alien invading movies. So, what do y'all think about these concept of aliens instead of actually what you normally see as aliens, like green Martians with pointy ears? Is actually bugs.
Bugs.
Big
Lots of
bugs.
Yeah.
Big bugs. Go ahead, John. You start.
Generally, I like the concept a lot, mainly because it almost makes it seem like if there was life out there somewhere, maybe it's just another species that took hold as kind of the mainstay for whatever planet it's on and whatever life develops. So I like the idea as a whole of that. And I also like the fact that even though they went the bug route, they still diversified the types of bugs, because I know there have been other movies we watch where it's like the alien is specifically one thing, and no matter what, it's just that outline, that model of an alien. But with the bugs, they're like, nah, they diversified. They're different species, even within that alien race. And I like that idea as a whole. And so I think it did a very good job at introducing us to something we're familiar with in a different way and in a way that made sense in the alien world. So overall, I think it did fine with that.
Yeah, I'm with you, John. Exactly that. I think I'm going to go the same route. When I think back to when we watched Alien, it was more of a menacing. You kind of felt the evil behind it, in Alien, and even when we did Mars Attacks, you kind of could tell they were evil. I didn't get the feeling that these aliens, these bugs, were evil, that they were just bugs and they were just trying to survive however they survive. I didn't get a menacing feeling from them. I just got an overwhelming, hey, there's food, let's go eat.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. That's kind of how I got.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I really, I like John said, I like the fact is you didn't just get one. You got the tank. You've got the thinking bug, and then you got the soldiers, and then I think there was even some other ones.
The same soldier ones. The soldier type. You had a flying one,
and then the flying. Yeah, that's right, the flying ones too. And then they had the big ones that was shooting the stuff out their butt.
Yeah,
the ships.
So you had different types. I agree with that because we all seen the same type of aliens. We're gonna do an alien movie and it's gonna fade. We're gonna make them look the same, just like Independence Day. All of those we saw, Alien and Mars Attacks, they all looked the same. Nobody was different. You couldn't tell them apart. With these, they didn't call them alien. It was called arachnid, I think. So I agree with that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, just They were bugs, you know.
Yeah.
They were big bugs, you know. That's why I didn't get so much of a I didn't understand, and I'm sure we'll get to this when we talk about plot holes and stuff. I didn't understand the reasoning behind some of the actions that they did. You know, like why would you attack Earth? Why are you shooting asteroids at another planet? You know, I didn't understand that. I mean, because there was no communication, there was, you know, how did they even know what planet we were on?
Yeah.
You know, things like that. Anyway,
So we all question two. I know this is probably one of John's favorite questions. We always come up with this type of government. We watched movies with those similar type of government. So was the government there? Did it govern the whole Earth, or just one area, or was it everything in space? Because you had a federation, you had civilian, and you had
civilian or no, it was a citizen. That was
citizen.
the word.
Yeah,
Citizen and civilians, or
it was.
citizens and non-citizens. So
Yeah,
you know, to me, I think the government was kind of it was worldwide, but it was okay. You're either a citizen or you're not, and the easiest way to become a citizen is to join the
federation.
Space Force, Army,
Yeah.
Federation, whatever, you know, fill in the blank here.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, they definitely govern the whole Earth. It's almost like similar to Star Wars s like Republic, except it's just not a whole bunch of aliens. It was just all of Earth's population. Like we're one big government. We stand in space as humans, which was an interesting take for sure. But they made it work.
Yeah, they made it work, but I don't know. It's just why would you not just have civilian and have, hey, look, to order to get more higher position, you got to join up.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, you know, especially if you're in the middle of a war, that they didn't just have a draft or something and say, you know what, everyone will serve.
Yeah.
Period. You know, regardless, everyone will serve. You have to serve at least so many years because we're in the middle of a war with these arachnids, these bugs, and it's going to happen. So,
All right. So with that, that question leads into this third question. So if you were in this movie and you had the option, and you were Rico or you were somebody that, hey, I can go to Harvard, I can go to school and just go that route, would you do that, or would you join up with the Federation to become a citizen?
how smart am I? I mean, honestly, it depends on how smart I am. I mean, if I've got good grades, I'm intelligent, and I know I'm going to be a pilot, yeah, I'm downright. I'll go ahead and do that, you know. But if you want me to be a grunt soldier, forget it. You know,
Yeah,
those guys
yeah,
get
I'm with
wiped out
Dave on this one. Just absolutely. I mean, if I could be a pilot, 100%, I'm joining up immediately. Like, sign me up today, kind of deal. But if I'm on the ground, if I'm anything other, truthfully, than pilot in this universe, I'll stay behind. I'll be all right.
Yeah, either pilot. To me, I said pilot, or even though if you're smart, you psych it, or just be the intelligence side. You, you saw Beth, you saw the friend, you saw people go, hey, his best guy friend went to intelligence, and was higher up than the
Yeah,
pilot.
but I mean, it all depends on your scores. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what that whole big computer screen that they were showing everybody off at the beginning, you know, right after they're graduating high school. You know, there's okay, you know, depending on
map.
your grades. If your grades aren't good enough, okay, you're going to be a troop. You're going to be a grunt. Now,
Mobile infantry, all the
yeah, mobile infantry, and then you go get tattoos.
death before. I
Um,
feel it.
Death Before Dishonor. I don't even remember what it said.
Yeah, me neither.
No, it said something about mobile infantry. I mean, it said that. But
Yeah. So with question 4, What did you think of the beginning and the ending of this movie with they have the newsreel? Like we watched when we first started with was it Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow? You had a space kind of newsreel-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So what y'all think of how they did it here? More of a commercial and a newsreel.
I mean, it definitely confused me when it first popped up a little bit. But in the long run, I grew to enjoy that almost an interruption, considering some of the weight the movie tried to carry at times, as well as just the entertainment of like, oh, here's a newscast. We're getting a summary of what happened in case you got lost along the way, and it wasn't done so poorly that it just felt kind of redundant and dumb. Um, so overall, I like the little news feed at the beginning and end, and anywhere it happened in between. I think it was well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really enjoyed that part of it. I thought it was very clever the way they did it. And like John said, it wasn't like, and here we are with ISN News reporting. It didn't sound like Walter Cronkite. At 6 o'clock at night. I know that's way before y'all's time. So
I
anyone
know.
out there that's my age, you guys know who Walter Cronkite is. But who's just sitting there reading the news? I mean, it was different scenes. I mean, I couldn't get I just it was blowing my mind when they were handing all their guns to the kids, and I'm just like, oh, really, dudes, really?
Yeah.
You're giving kids guns to play with. Okay, and then they're holding bullets, separately, and it's like, it's only going to take one to take the bullet and put it into the gun,
Yeah.
Yep.
Come
yep.
on.
Yep.
Other than those, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought it kind of broke up. It was easy. It was an easy transition from the different characters or different scenes. When you had, I can't remember her name, the girl flying the spaceship. Then it was going back to Rico, and then it was okay. Then you had one of those. Then it was back to her in the spaceship, then they were going to do something else in the training grounds or something.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It broke up the movie, broke up the transition, gave them a way to that way they can reset. Or
Yeah.
So, last question here: is there a character in this movie you would replace?
Me personally, or just we would replace in the movie?
Replace in the movie, just any character in this movie. Like,
Xander. Why is he even there? He was there to be maybe a slight love interest for Carmen, but I didn't see a reason for him to even be there.
yeah, well, Xander, it looks like love.
Yeah,
Xander was the football guy that was, or is it?
Yeah, he was the other football guy.
Yeah.
Who ended up becoming her trainer.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and throw that out there early.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta talk about it.
Like either like or you could do, hey, if you like the character Rico or somebody, would you with another actor? Like,
I would say I could definitely see modernizing the cast. The problem is, for me, I fall prey to most of your Avengers people would slot in nicely to a good chunk of these, which is the trap I would fall into if I were to say any of those. So, I mean, if you just want to pick any Avenger and slot them in most of these roles, take your pick. So I'm just going to leave that there for me because there's no reason for me to go through it because in my mind, that's the trap I'm falling into.
Now, if you felt like you absolutely had to have Xander there, you could go ahead and take out the Colonel guy who was I can't think of his name, the actor's name, the intelligence.
Yeah,
Matthew, I
was
gonna say I would take out Brainiac.
Yeah.
There would be. I mean, honestly, just kind of take that out. I mean, it ended it. It was a good way to end it in the movie, but you didn't. They didn't all have to be friends at the beginning of the movie.
No.
You could have shortened the movie a little bit without even having an actor there. Just saying, hey, hey, the colonel the general of intelligence wants us to do this. So we're mobile infantry, so we're going to do it.
Yeah, they could have took what's his name? Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, I can't. I've seen him in so much stuff, you know. I mean, and I can't think of what the heck his name is off the top of my head.
That's gonna haunt me.
Yeah, well, you could look it up while we go to our next segment. How about that? While we're going to our next segment, plot holes. That's right. Hey, I'm just going to go ahead and start. I already kind of mentioned it earlier. Xander. Xander was a football player against Rico. So they were at competing high schools. And
Yeah,
Carmen graduated at the same time, but yet
she was wearing a uniform.
Xander is her training officer. What? How does that make any sense? I was just like scratching my head from that point. I was just like, really? I mean, you know.
Well, you gotta see when you saw them at the dance. Yes, Xander. You had a few other people you saw at the dance wearing uniform already.
Yeah, but they were playing football like a week before. I mean,
Yeah,
it didn't seem like he wouldn't have enough experience to be her trainer. You know, if let's just say he did graduate 2 months before, but then he should have been a trainee with her, not her trainer. You know,
he wouldn't have made it that high that quick.
No,
I don't know. They were giving out rank like candy in this movie. Every time you turned around, they were promoting people. You know.
Well, you got to think the teacher the Rico's history teacher.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you got to think
I think he was prior enlisted.
Yeah,
and he had the injury, so he went to become a teacher, and then the war just like kicked it into overdrive, and they said, "Hey, we'll fix your arm, come back." You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, I like the guy. I like the because it kind of, hey, I'm gonna give you on the spot, on the field promotion. All right, I need a corporal when I replace you.
Yeah, you're as good as you are until I can find somebody better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you guys find any? I've got a ton of them. So
my biggest plot holes are ethical. Is like, first of all, looking at test scores on a screen from a teaching perspective. We try that once nowadays, you're fired. All right, nobody's doing that. You get your test scores privately, even in a world of computers, so that's out of whack. The sheer number of relationships in military factions, that's a plot hole as a whole. That doesn't happen even in sci-fi. Like, why do we have people hooking up left and right in positions very close to one another? Which, I mean, I know does happen in real life, but I mean, like, you get the positional power and stuff there going on, that gets real funky. So there's a lot of ethical questions there. The quick promoting, like you're talking about, Dave, there's just so many ethical questions here. And not even like moral quandaries. Like, we don't get into like the craziness of a world that's, apocalyptic and crime everywhere. Man, there were a lot of ethical questions going on between leadership and just, again, going back to me, the teacher. Of course, I noticed the test scores. So
what with the test scores, it didn't happen when I was in school, but I know it before. I think maybe they may have contested this. They did. You used to post the scores out on a paper.
Yeah, I want to say I think I remember in school they used to do that.
It's not about the thing that you're trying to get at. I don't think it's more of they can't tell. To me, I don't care what you made, John. If I see, you made it, you got 100 competition.
Yeah, but it's in the modern world of at least Georgia ethics in teaching. Man, I would be under the bus if I even like hand the wrong paper to a student sometimes, especially if it was test scores or a report card. Oh.
Chad, did you have any plot holes that just kind of jumped out at you?
Trying to think. Besides what you already pointed out.
Yeah. I got one more that's huge.
I'm just trying to.
But
why in the world? Like, okay, you got you see in the news, I talk about the news world, like you see, oh, these Mormons went and settled here and they got all killed. But why would we try and settle or somewhere with bugs? Like, were we not? Like, okay, we could have just settled any other planet but there.
Yeah, yeah. That and actually, what you just said is part of one of the ones I had was okay. They're bugs. How do they get from planet to planet? How do they? There's no technology whatsoever. So, and how do they launch asteroids? I mean,
Boom, butt juice.
I mean, are they just the ones that come out of their butts and it just gets bigger as it gets there? I mean,
I'll say, if you ever met a roach, Dave, they survive anything. They're just adaptable. It's fine.
What
again, but do you see the size of these things? How are they getting from planet to planet? Is what I want to know. I mean, it never really
Slowly.
talks about that.
Very slowly. Either that or they're finding wormholes like nobody's business. Which now,
again, how are they? I mean,
in all
they're going to go
fairness,
through the
though,
Stargate. Okay, yeah, okay, they're going through the Stargate.
In all fairness to that front, and the plot hole's completely real. I just want to play devil's advocate here because it's fun.
Time to mute you. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Bugs do see different spectrums of light, so maybe they're just seeing something we can't see. You know what I mean? So maybe they can have some way to detect ways to travel through the universe, but at the same time, they don't. They have no technology. They wouldn't travel, and you're absolutely right in that. But it's still fun to think of a world where they could.
Yeah. But I think you remember at the beginning of the movie, it was talking about the history behind the arachnids. Hey, it grew from common household bugs, and it evolved into what they were. So you had cockroaches, you had beetles, like these you see them, but you barely see them, like water beetle. I think that's the one that shot the fire.
Oh, that was they called those tanks.
Tank, yeah, it was tanks, but. So you had stuff like that. I agree. How did you go from planet to planet?
Yeah, and then probably the biggest one is why don't we just nuke them from space? Why don't you just shoot them? They went through and they showed the one scene of the fighters going in and just annihilating them. Why do you feel like they needed to have? Oh, we've got to have infantry. No. You're shooting bullets at them, and it takes like 10 of you to shoot down one of them. Use a tank. Use real tanks. An M1 Abrams or something. I have something that's if you're going to have a ground. I mean, it makes her go back to Desert Storm. Desert Storm was won by the Air Force. The Air Force came in there and bombed and bombed and bombed and bombed and bombed. And basically they were ready to give up, and they did like the last couple days. You had the Army and the Marines and the Navy and all that came in just to kind of clean up, So I understand if you're just going to kind of clean up, but
look at this. You talking about nuking them from space, nuking them with the airplanes. We were so far in advance in weaponry, you still had bullets for fight.
Exactly. Yeah, where's the lasers?
Where's the laser? But you think that, you got handheld nukes. But, let me throw a nuke over there. And
and no fallout. You're gonna have to throw a nuke and no fallout, and it's not gonna hurt you. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, weaponry just didn't make any sense to have bullets and stuff like that showing, firing and all that.
Now, I did like the fact that you had to reload. It was showing, hey, I'm gonna fire endlessly.
Yeah,
that's to me is if you don't have a laser, I'm out.
Well, yeah, I mean, and their tactics were lousy. Everyone let's just run forward, and if it's going to take 4, 5, 6 people to kill one bug, you should be in teams and go for one bug only.
Yeah.
And then
where's the Gatling gun? Where's the?
Yeah. Yeah, makes you just want to.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, that's what you needed right there. Just napalm them all. All right, we've played around with that enough. Let's go to. I'm not sure how much we're going to be talking about this because it seems like we kind of have done this as we've been going along. But what would
Yeah.
you do to fix or improve this movie? Let's start with you, John.
For me, honestly, you could cut out probably, which I think was already mentioned, like a good chunk of the first part of the movie. I also think there's probably at least one of the battle scenes, maybe two that you could probably cut out that aren't 100% necessary. Now, when we go over the rating, I'll explain where I kind of counteract that thought. But just in terms of watching, I mean, you could definitely get rid of like at least one of the battle scenes and still come out okay, and just have a snippet of even a new scene of like, hey, they had this battle. We didn't actually show you that battle, but it happened, and we're moving on. But for the most part, those are my major improvements past plot holes.
Okay, Chad, how about you?
I kind of talked at the end of the plot holes, like the weaponry. Like you make it realistic. You're so far in it, you can have a range of blow a laser to blow up asteroids. Why can't you have it a handheld one there, and then maybe a tank that can maybe that the little fortification they thought was a trap. They could have. Where was the em, emplacement guns?
Yeah, or even better, I mean, yours is you guys are both on the same boat as me. Is okay, uh, helicopters or something, gunships, something to be able to give you some aerial support. You know, that's what A-10s are for. That's what
Yeah.
Apaches are for. I mean, to be able to support your ground troops. They had no aerial support whatsoever, and especially when you had bugs that could fly. I definitely would fix that to make it. I mean, you could have had some really epic battles. I mean, even if the bugs flew into the helicopter and then having that helicopter crash or something, or being a Harrier type, a vertical takeoff, vertical landing type, aircraft, spacecraft, whatever you want to call it. I just think that would have been fun. Again, to get rid of the intelligence stuff. Again, you didn't really need to
You didn't need
pay
him
the
in
extra
there.
actor.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris. Thank you. God, I could not think of his name.
You
But
didn't need him in there.
But
You
that was
could-
like one of his first movies too. So
yeah,
so it actually kind of helped him.
it helped them. But the thing is you didn't need him in there. Not the he should have been a get in there something other than what he was. You need an intelligence officer. Oh, we kind of knew it was there, but we had to make sure.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, and the again handing out rank like candy. Okay, all of a sudden he's a colonel. He just graduated high school and now he's a colonel.
Yeah.
No.
You don't. No. You were if you graduated high school and you went to college, and then go in there, you probably
You'd be a second lieutenant.
Yeah.
You would be a
You
second
want
lieutenant.
not
That's it.
from high school to there. No, you won't be no second. You'll be a grunt.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is right after high school, yeah, you would be depending on what you took in high school, either you go in as an E3, E2, or an E1. That's it. And unless you had a degree, then you could go in as an O1. Unless you're in a specific field, medical field or something like that. Some of those people, they actually come in as an O3 or O4, but they are specialized in their field. And of course, they've already been to college. They've already been working. They're older.
Yeah, they're older. You're not.
Yeah.
They'll be out of rank. They hand it out. They should have just kept it realistic.
Yeah, and I think they were trying to make it action packed, but I just don't think I think they missed the mark on a lot of that.
They could have cut out the boot camp.
Yeah, that was another plot hole. You would never ever have live fire.
Yeah, I'm like,
in a practice situation. That would never happen. I mean, you would use dummy rounds if there's ever a chance, or if you're going to use live fire, you're just going to be stationary. You're not going to be running around. Or if they are going to do that, there's going to be safety things in something happens. Hey, you're going to yell, okay, safe your weapons, do this, do that, there would be some other way to prevent what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to our next segment where we're going to be doing our rating. We're going to rate this movie. We're going to rate the movie we just saw on a scale of 0 to 5 lightsabers. 0 meaning, no, I don't ever want to say this again. 5, oh yeah, this was a great movie. I want to watch it again. So start with Chad. You're the one that picked this movie, so what's your rating? Good sir.
Yeah, what I did, I like I said, I seen it years ago, and I still enjoyed it from watching it over. But I'm not gonna give it a 5 because I'm not gonna give any movie a 5. It's got to be almost dead perfect. We're gonna find stuff, so I'm gonna say about a 4.
Okay, 4. John, how about you?
I mean, I'm spot on with that in terms of quality for the time it was made. I think it does a phenomenal job at the idea of cycles of war, because you see by the end of the movie him picking up on the leaders before him, mannerisms and stuff, and like it's just that constant cycle of like, all right, we're going back in somewhere. I think it did a really good job on that front, and just overall, it was very entertaining. I'd watch it again. Like I said, quality for the time, even with all the plot holes, even it was good enough to overlook a lot of that. And for that reason, I think it's good enough for a 4 in my book.
Wow. Okay. Myself, I'm actually a little higher than you guys. Even with the plot holes, I'm giving it 4.5 because I absolutely enjoyed this movie. I loved the whole, the commercials in between. I thought that was so clever and such a fun way to do it. I really enjoyed this movie. I mean, it's definitely one. If I was flipping channels and that was on, it's staying on and it's going to be watched all the way through the end. Again, we mentioned the movie's shortfalls, but it was still a fun movie. It really was.
Yeah.
You
It
know.
was a fun movie. I'm like I said, my 4 is not saying I won't watch it again. I won't go turn it on.
Oh
and
no,
just
no.
watch it.
4 is a great rating. But to me, of all the stuff that we've seen this year already, I think I've enjoyed this one the most so
Agreed.
far.
Yeah,
So
great.
that's why I gave it the highest rating. All right, everybody out there in internet land and YouTube world and all over the place, please contact us. Okay, you guys can contact us. Easiest way to do it is just make a note or comment down in the YouTube. We are also on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TheseSciFiGuys. Or you can email us, TheseSciFiGuys at gmail.com. That's right, gmail.com. Kidding, guys, sorry. And with that, we're going to talk about next episode. Our next episode is actually, I'm looking forward to this because I don't think John has seen this. I know Chad probably has. This is a total spoof. So it's a comedy. It's a total ripoff of Star Trek. Click. Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest. Oh, I love the picture I got. Now streaming on YouTube. I just found pictures and just put them up there. Yeah. Tim Allen.
Sure.
And then you got Sigourney Weaver from Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Rickman. I don't know what else he was in.
Harry Potter.
Snape.
He has a very big film history.
The Die Hard.
That one.
Yes. Oh, that's right. He was Hans Gruber.
Yep.
Yeah, and then of course the guy who was he fixed the engines and stuff. He was Monk. So the guy that played Monk, who also was in Men in Black a couple weeks ago when we did that one. So yeah. Well, that's it for our episode of the Sci-Fi Guys. We did Starship Troopers. So hope you guys enjoyed this. We enjoyed talking about it. Until next time, everyone, Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.